Climber, it's really important to stay top of mind with the music industry, but you want to be top of mind in a positive way. In other words, you want them to smile, not run when they see you coming. You don't want to be an askhole. That's ask with a K. So today, we're revealing 10 ways you can stay in touch with the music industry pros in a positive way. So listen up. Johnny, do that thing.
Welcome to the C.L.I.M.B. This is a show dedicated to helping singers, songwriters, and indie artists like you create leverage in the music business. It's all about you. Artists love to hear that. That's what they want to hear. It's not about anybody else. Nobody can get in your way. But you got to have leverage to prove that your art has value in the marketplace. That's what we call it the C.L.I.M.B, C.L.I.M.B, creating leverage in the music business. It's a Baxter from my good friend and co-host, Mr. Brent Baxter. He's a hit songwriter with cuts by Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Lady A, Joe Nichols, and more. He's got multiple number ones in Southern Gospel. He's got multiple cuts that are about to come out in Southern Gospel. He's a machine. He never stops. But what I really love about Brent is he helps songwriters like you turn pro by revealing how you write like a pro, do business like a pro, and then on the regular, he is going to connect you with the pros, give you an opportunity to create that relationship. You can find Brent very easily at songwritingpro.com.
And I would like to introduce you to my co-host, Johnny Dwinell. Johnny owns Daredevil Production. They're breaking artists digitally by identifying new fans through data. It's smart, but you know, Johnny. If you're an artist looking to increase your streams, blow up your video views, sell more live show tickets, and get discovered by new fans, TV, and music industry pros, then Daredevil Production can help. Daredevil has worked with multi-platinum artists like Colin Ray, Tracy Lawrence, Ty Herndon, and Andy Griggs, just to name a few. You can find Johnny at daredevilproduction.com. That is production singular, no S. There's no S because there is no other. Johnny D.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm good. I am just, life is crazy. I'm just trying to figure out how to fit everything in, and that's the way of the world. Yeah. It's never going to stop. So I'm good. But yeah, man, life is good. It's hot. Kids are rocking, and we're just trying to stay cool.
Well, good. We're going to learn about assholes today.
Yes, we are, and how not to be one. Mainly how not to be one.
I know a couple of those.
Yes. Well, you know, sometimes you just don't know you're being one, and sometimes you don't know you have a choice not to be one, but you have a choice. But that's right. The thing is, like, after God moved our family away from Nashville a few years ago, and with more and more industry pros moving away from Nashville or just off Music Row itself, the physical, kind of locus of everything, I couldn't count on spontaneous interactions with pros, like, running into them at the post office or industry events or at publishing companies as often as I did when I was there full time, because a lot of them aren't there full time either. So I didn't want them to forget about me between my Nashville trips. And of course, this was especially a challenge during the pandemic. So I had to get more intentional about it and how to do it in a positive way. And so it's something I think about a lot. And I know a lot of our climbers are not in town, but even if you're in town, this stuff is still definitely relevant. And so I just wanted to share some of that stuff. Because again, you want them to smile when they see your name or you. You don't want them to like cringe and go, oh, okay, here it comes. You don't want that, right? So we're here to help you prevent that today.
I love it. All right. Well, before we get going here, let's take care of some business. Join the C.L.I.M.B community on Facebook. We're 1,600 strong, y'all. Go to facebook.com/groups/the C.L.I.M.B community. You have to ask to be let in. We let everybody in as long as you look like you're legit. If you're suspect, say, just joined Facebook a week ago, I'm just going to decline it. And then be good boys and girls inside the community. This is a thriving community of singers, songwriters, indie artists, indie musicians, sharing knowledge, helping each other out, hooking up with co-writes. I mean, there's all kinds of cool stuff that has happened from this that has been fruitful for these climbers, which I know you and I are very proud of. And listen, we protect our community with a veracity. If you put the wrong kind of crap on the feed, you're out. You'll be roadhoused. Don't try to sell anything. Don't do it. But you know what? Like, you've got a question you want to ask, put that in the feed. you got something you want to share, hey, I did this and it worked, and maybe y'all should try this. Do it. If you got information, right? Articles, comedy stuff, cool. I posted some wicked bass player dude, just a vulgar display of prowess video of him playing. I was like, this is just fascinating. You got to watch this.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. That's for the feed, right? But we want to know about your new music. Every Monday, there's a post that we make. You can put a comment in there and get all showered with love and affection and support. We on Thursdays we talk about the gigs. Put your gig in there. You're gonna get some love on that. And then on Wednesdays we have New Heights, which is, we could just call it Wednesday Wins. And we want you to talk about your wins in there, and then we share them on the podcast, or at least as many as we can, because there's always a lot. So
there's a lot of winning going on in there. So yeah, under New Heights, you can always look for. You don't have to post only on Wednesdays, but that's when it drops. You're welcome to post in there anytime as a comment. But that's where the party is. So Taylor Hughes Music, we had a couple episodes ago, mentioned that she was in the running for the New York We Can Survive concert benefit. Well, it turns out Taylor made the top 20 for that. And so it's a benefit show to raise awareness for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So it sounds like a very worthy cause. Next round of voting closes. Well, it's already closed by the time y'all hear this, but apparently you came through last time. So Taylor is climbing up through the ranks there, which is awesome.
Congrats, Taylor. Love it.
Yes. Climber Michael Roth says, I'm going to be teaching a class in lyric writing at Gulf Coast College in September. So Michael does some teaching, helping some other people on their climb, which is very cool. That. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see here, man. Just a lot. Just kind of scrolling through these. Chris Roggy Doggy, said, I wrote a song, Whiskey Us Away, that debuted in the top 100 Texas country chart. So very grateful and excited. So very, very cool, Chris. And then the last one here I'll share. Let's see here. Patrick Adams says, well, I just got word that 4 songs, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, have made their way to the teams of some big camps with a new female artist and 3 other major players in the country music. I want to shout out my co-writers first and foremost. Without them, this would not be happening. Everyone congratulate Sunday Joe Graham, Brad Hacker, Michael Parker, and then the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Chris Tiscarino, for joining me on this journey. These folks write a great song, and they're really good souls to have by your side. So we are on the climb and having a dang good time. No charge for awesomeness. So,
nice.
Yeah, so congrats, Brad, and everybody, all you climbers. Congrats. Keep on climbing. Love it.
Winning. Love it. Winning for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That is killer, man. I love that. What else we got? Anything else?
Other than subscribe, tell a friend about it. All that good stuff. You turn your friend on something cool, that makes you cool.
Do tell a friend about it. Okay, you're spending all this time with us. You're getting something out of it. You're learning something. We're somehow enriching your life. It's not a friggin' consumer outreach program for Johnny and Brent. Like you're trying to make us feel better. So there's something in it, man. Turn somebody else on to it. We're trying to help as many people as we can. Right.
That's right. We're also on YouTube. We're on YouTube, so you can look at the Climb Show. I think it is our handle on YouTube. But if you just look for, especially with the periods in there, you'll find us on YouTube. So that's another way you can consume and share the podcast. Yeah, so we're all the way caught up, which is cool. You can even watch some of them when we didn't realize that we were going to end up using the video. So there's no telling what goes on there. So which is scary. A little scared. Some things probably end up with gifts of us. The other thing is, on October 23rd, we are going to be taking over Live Oak. It's a music venue. It's a restaurant, music place on Demumbrian Hill. It's right there off Music Row. And it's Live Oak. It's Monday, October 23rd. We are taking over the songwriter rounds from 7 to 11. They have a band from 6 to 7. And then we're going to be filling up the rounds from 7 to 11 with OG climbers, with hit writers, with some artists in there. We're just going to be filling it up, having a good time. So if you live in Nashville or you plan to be around Nashville, October 23rd, come out to Live Oak, come out early, stay late, meet a lot of other climbers. Johnny and I want to see you get a selfie, all that good stuff. We want to hang out and meet y'all. So October 23rd.
Right. Love it. I'm looking forward to that, man. That's going to be really fun.
Yes. I've never put around together. Now I've got a whole night to put together. So this is new territory for me.
Well, we both do, right? Like,
yeah, there we go.
Let's try to have it out. All right, well, let's get into this thing. Talk to me about Assholes.
Yeah, so I had to get a lot more intentional about staying in contact with my music industry peeps, but I wanted to show up in a positive way because, okay, there's one thing when I was going to the road every day, living in Nashville, and you run into people, and you don't have to think so much about staying in contact with people because you just bump into them at the publishing company. Somebody be in the next room writing, you just see them when you're getting coffee, or you see them at the post office, or you see them at events or writers' nights, and all this stuff. Just super easy to just be integrated in the community if you don't live there, or since I've moved away, and also since a lot of the business has moved away from Music Row, like, so they're not, they're not eating at some of the same restaurants, and you just don't see them as much. You got people that are zooming more, so you don't see them in the publishing company or whatever. It's like, how do I stay in contact? And one of the first ways you think about staying in contact is asking people for things, is asking for co-writes, asking for, hey, can I go take you to coffee? Which is not really, it's not a give. You might be saying, can I buy you coffee? You're still, it's an ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're taking
Mm-hmm.
their time. Can I get your feedback on a song? Can I send you a song? Hey, you may think you're giving them a song, but most of the time it's still an ask, unless that flips and they're calling you going, hey, we want songs. So I didn't want to only show up and I was asking for things. And it's like, man, how do I keep myself top of mind? We've talked about the escalator in people's minds, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they're on the top floor or the second floor, and we're on that escalator, and it's the down escalator. So you run into somebody, they're like, hey, I see your face, and you're top of mind. You're on the top step of that escalator, but guess what? It begins taking you down to the first floor immediately. And you got to keep working to get back up to that top where they think about you and they see you. But you want to do that in a positive way. So you do not want to be an asshole. An asshole is someone who went, they're an the bottomless hole of asking. And we don't, right? That's why you're an
Yeah.
asshole, and because it's funny. And maybe merch worthy. I don't know, Johnny. Merch worthy. We need to work on
Don't
that.
be an
Don't be an
asshole.
asshole. That would be fun.
Nice.
Okay. Anyway, I'm getting merch ideas. So here are some ways to reach out and stay in touch in a positive way. By the way, these work whether you're in Nashville or you're on the other side of the globe. Okay. These are pretty, they're kind of built around not having to be in the same space. All right. So we're just going to run through these. Number one, heard your song on the radio. Oh, and these may not be as applicable depending on where you are in the business and who you know, all that kind of stuff. But just a quick story about this. I heard What Brothers Do. It's an old single by Confederate Railroad. Heard on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I did was we were at a stop, pulling up to a stop sign. I was just leaving the in-laws' house, at the kids to the car. I'm like, hold on, be quiet for a second. And I took a little video of the car stereo. It had the little digital readout, what bro, whatever. And I sent that to Chris Wallen, who's one of the writers on that song.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, dude, I hadn't heard this one in ages. It hit the dadgum spot. God bless small town radio. I'd send that video and that text. And of course, he hit it back going, oh my gosh, they dug way back for that one. And, we just had a little text conversation, after I got where I was going. And now I'm able to text Chris because we know each other. You may
Mm-hmm.
not have like a pro writer or somebody's cell number, but you can probably private message. You can post on their page, on their Facebook page or their Instagram page. You can leave a comment as a post as a comment or whatever. There's some different ways that you can still do this, even for
Mm-hmm.
people you don't have like their cell number where you can text these people. It can still show up and be like, hey, heard your song, this old. And what made it relevant was like it was an old song, and so it had kind of a novelty thing to it. Like if it was a current hit, it's not as impactful as like, dude, heard this old song, oh my gosh, it's still killer. And I was able to do that. So I'll do that every once in a while, especially like writers I know that have, so it's more like the old songs. If it's an old
Mm-hmm.
song, like I've done that with Byron Hill. If like some song about like Born Country by Alabama comes on every once in a while, or I may just text him and go, dude, heard Born Country on the radio today. So good. Hope you're doing well. Bye. That kind of stuff. Like what can you, just thinking about that, whether it's, on a different level, it might be, hey, your song showed up on this playlist today. Good job. It's so good to hear it. Surprised me. That was a happy
Just
surprise.
shouting out love and
Just
support.
shouting
Yeah.
out love and support. And it's a direct message, when you can. some sort of direct thing. So that's a way to show up in a positive way. Not asking for anything. What am I asking for? Nothing. He didn't even have to respond. Didn't ask a question. Nothing. So that's one thing. If there's some sort of success like that, you can shout them out. Two is happy birthday. So Facebook will remind you if you're friends with that person. And so what I try to do is, instead of just doing the Facebook post, which sometimes I'll do, but if I can, I'll text if possible. But Facebook is good about they'll send you notifications. I'm like, oh, I need to text so and so. Hey, happy birthday! Hope you're doing well. And then try to find some funny little gift or picture or something to send with it. Again, that's if you just post on the Facebook page, I mean, they're going to get hundreds, and they're lucky to just be able to go through and hit like on all of them. But they don't really get to absorb these as much. But a text cuts through the noise more. It's more personal. It took more time because Facebook, you can just really just hit a button and it posts. It's very little trouble on your part, and people know this. But a text, you got to find their number and you got to put in there, find a funny get. It's more personal. It takes more time. It means more. So I'll do that. Number 3, gratitude. This is a good one. So sometimes I'll just text somebody or email them, whatever you have available, and just like, dude, I just want to thank you for introducing me to so-and-so. Man, I've really enjoyed writing with them. We've become friends. Thanks for, that kind of stuff. So it might be someone that they hooked you up with years ago, and you can go back and go, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go thank them for that introduction. Because this business is so much about introductions, by the way, and opening doors for people, that it's a huge thing. And so if I'm looking for reasons to go thank people for things. There's, a publisher that, song plugger that hooks me up with rights at the publishing company where she works. And I appreciate that. Hey, I'm coming in town, and she'll book me with some of their writers. And so every once in a while, I'll just be like, hey, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Not even attached to, hey, I'm coming back. Can you hook me up some more? No, I'm not having to say that. I just want to say, hey, thank you. But we've gotten some good songs. I enjoy the friendship. Thank you. Things like that. Or thanks for playing our song out the other night. Thanks for putting the work in on the song, for doing a good, good demo, good work tape, whatever it is. What can I be thankful for? And that might be good practice. There are these gratitude journals, or these 5-minute gratitude things that it asks you like every day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. You can even, if you have trouble coming up with these, you go, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this about music stuff, about other people. And you start listening to those, and you can go through and find stuff. They're like, oh yeah. And I can text this person or DM this person or private message this person a thank you for this thing, whatever it is. I think gratitude is a really great way to cut through, because who doesn't love to hear that stuff? And who feels like they hear that stuff too much? Nobody, right? We always need it. We want to know that we're appreciated, that we made some sort of little dent in somebody's universe. And so just to thank you for an introduction or whatever it is, or a piece of advice. Hey, I just want to thank you for that. We that meeting a year ago, and that this piece of advice, you told me this, and it's really stuck with me. I just want to say thanks. It's making me better. What a great way to show up positively. I'm not even asking for another meeting or a write. I'm just positive way, right?
That's right.
It's kind of the Gary Vaynerchuk thing of jab, 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 left hook. You give, ask, right? You got to have a ratio. It's kind of that, because you may ask for another meeting in the future, or heck, they may bring it up and go, hey, drop by next time you're in town, which is even better, because okay, since you asked me to. But it's focusing on the give. Number 4 is, hey, just thinking about you. Now, this is, if all else fails, use this one. It's not my favorite. It's kind of bland. It's not very personal, but it's better than nothing. But sometimes you just go, hey, I just ran across your contact in my phone or an email or whatever, and just made me think about you. I hope you're doing well. God bless. Whatever. I'll do that sometimes, just because I haven't talked to this person in a while. I just want to show up in a positive way, and that's it. Not asking for anything. So you don't follow it up like an hour later, or they go, hey, man, great, doing well. Hope you're doing well. Hey, can I send you a song? Don't do that. Because then it's like, oh, that's what that first email was. Okay, they're just opening the door to ask me something. A surprise askhole. Ask with a K. So let's see. Number 5, kudos. Okay, if you hear somebody compliment like your buddy's song or somebody's song in the business, I'll try to send someone a text or an email and go, hey, I heard, so and so was talking good about you the other day. Hey, I had a meeting with so and so and they really sang your praises. That sort of thing. It's a way to kind of loop them in, letting people know, hey, good, somebody's talking good about me. I love hearing that stuff if that ever happens, right? And so, or hey, I played our song out, it killed. Thanks so much for putting in the hard work and making that song so good. Like, how can I congratulate people on things? Obviously, congrats on the number ones, congrats on the, that kind of stuff. Congrats on the pub deal, congrats on this new show you played, or, I'm, with like Mackenzie O'Brien, I have me and Chad Wilson and her wrote her current release, Gone Before I Got Here, and it's doing well. It's, she's excited. She's posting like, hey, it's hit this number of streams on Spotify. Like she's reaching new heights, right? And so I'm sure enough commenting, and then also just texting her like, hey man, I'm so glad this is going so well. Happy to be a part of this. And it's true. And I'm being completely honest. I am happy to be a part of that. I am happy it's doing well and it's fun to watch her excitement. You can tell it's genuine. She's like, wow, this is really cool. And that's fun to see, but also just keeping the relationship alive in between rights or in between whatever. It's just showing up in a positive way.
Yeah.
So
it's good.
But I especially love hey, I heard your name the other day and somebody was talking good about you. That kind of stuff could be just golden for someone. Cause you just never, for one thing, you never know what kind of day they're having. They may just be having a really crappy day. And then your text comes through just going, hey, just want you to know so-and-so was talking good about you. And I agree. Oh man.
Yeah.
It might just be what somebody just really needed that day. And now all of a sudden they associate you with that. And that ain't a bad thing. That is not a bad thing.
Hey, on that note, I'm gonna do that to you right now. There's something I forgot to tell you, but you might already know about it. Who was the publisher, the female publisher? I think she used to be at Carnival, but I don't think she's there anymore. And you had her on a Play for Publisher event one time.
Ooh, Carnival. I don't think I've done one. Was her name Chris?
Or maybe that was part of her resume, and she's not with Carnival anymore.
Maybe so.
It's a big publisher. Like,
I'm trying to think. Sorry, Carnival? I'm not sure.
Forget about Carnival.
Anyway,
big publisher.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember her name. I can see her name. It's blonde, right?
I don't know what she looks
You
like.
don't know. It's anyway. It's killing the show. So somebody said something nice about me.
Well, so last night I was at the Freak Show and Blue was there.
Yeah.
And I think because he saw me in the audience, he played Sugar Daddy Issues because we were just talking about Mackenzie O'Brien.
Yeah.
And he took that to her. I think her name is Chris, maybe.
Okay.
But I could have wrong.
I mean, there's Chris Lacey, who's at Warner.
Chris Lacey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's okay. I haven't had her on an event, but I've known her for several years. Yeah.
Okay, so it's Chris Lacey. And evidently she loves that song and she's trying to get it to Lizzo.
Oh, I'm gonna have to see now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna email Chris and just go, hey, I heard my buddy Johnny ran into you at the Freak Show, and
I didn't run into Chris. I ran into Blue.
It was Blue that mentioned it. Okay, I'll have to think about.
I would have told you what color her hair was if I ran into.
That's right. That makes sense.
I did not run into her. It was Blue, and he was like, I'm trying to get a Lizzo cut here, y'all. This song, and I think that's amazing.
So yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll just happen to send it to her as well and act like I don't know that. Hey, here's a song. And my name and the song title that I know you already like, just because I want to anchor that I'm a writer on that. That's so cool. Well, good. Come on, Chris. Make my day. Lizzo, everything's going really well for her right now. Oh, wait, those are lawsuits. But anyway.
I don't know what's going on with that, but
it's a whole thing. It'll be a few weeks old by this point, so it'd be a few
song
cycles back.
She could rock that song, and I hope
that would be.
Bananas aside, you get a big stinky paycheck from that. That's fun.
Yes. So that wouldn't hurt my feelings, but Okay, so yeah, kudos if you hear something good about it. Like yeah, like you just did. Like, oh, Blue said that so and so really liked your song. Great. That made me feel good. That makes me happy, right? Um what others
Yes.
so number 6, pitch updates. I've mentioned this before, but if I pitch a song, most of the time I'll text my co-writers and go, "Hey, pitching this song to so and so for so and so artist. Fingers crossed." Or love this song. Thanks so much for being a part of it. And we did good work, whatever. And text them. Nobody gets mad at getting those texts. Okay?
That's right.
Nobody gets mad at that. They're like, "Oh, nice. He's working." Because most of the time most of your pitches are not going to get cut. Just how it goes. I don't care who you are. Most of your pitches don't get cut. So how can I turn this into a guaranteed win? Is
Right.
I'm going to make my co-writer smile and go, okay, Brent works. And maybe I climb up another notch in their co-writer hierarchy because they know I'm pitching. Right? That may make
Yep.
me more valuable as a co-writer. But either way, I get to show up in a positive way. Like, hey, I'm trying to make you money here. Oh, okay. And I believe in our song. Okay. And it may just remind them that they need to go pitch our song too. Or they may
Mm-hmm.
go, oh, you know what? I know that artist producer. Let me see if I can get it directly to them. Because it feels crazy that pros have relationships that they don't really utilize. Like I've talked to
Right.
people and yeah, trying to get this song to so and so, and they're like, and it's like my co-writer, like, yeah, well, I had lunch with this producer the other day. Maybe I should like pitch a song. Well, yeah, maybe you should. Maybe you should do the job that we signed up for. But it's crazy. And so little things like that may actually ping people to actually utilize their relationships that they already have. It's amazing how many people don't do that stuff.
One thing I did recently was like that was uh so and I have an agenda too, obviously, but I mean, like, I'm an acquaintance with Doug Johnson, right?
Yes.
He's a senior VP of A&R at Black River and a
It's
massively ridiculous hit
yeah.
songwriter. And a really, really nice guy. Like, he's just so sweet. And he recently had a big health scare.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it was exactly, but I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
made the news, the industry trade news, and
Yeah.
everybody was really, really worried about him. And man, like a couple weeks after I found out he was back working, and I just sent him a text, and I was just like, "Hey, Doug, just heard that you were, going through it health wise, and then I heard you were back at work, and I just wanted to reach out and tell you that the world's a better place with you in it, man. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're feeling better. Done,
Yeah.
And he was just, thank you, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just that kind of like there's the kind of text you don't want to send, you don't want to wish to send. I mean,
Right.
is
Yeah.
somebody sick or whatever. But when you hear something like that, and then you have that number and you can reach out and just wish him well,
Mm-hmm.
that means a lot. And he responded like, right away. I mean, it
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, those things, which actually is another one, which is like prayers up for blank, right? So if I
Yeah.
know, and this is more, the closer your contacts are, this is more appropriate. But hey, I know you're going through this thing, or heard about this, or whatever. Hey, man, just praying for you. My big caveat on this is don't say you are if you aren't. Okay,
Right.
you don't want to be inviting the lightning. Um,
Yeah.
but that's a thing too. If you are praying for somebody, I'll just let people know, and which can seem, you may feel how you feel about that, but um, I just want people to know if I am praying for, especially if we've talked about stuff and they've asked me to. If a week later they get a text going, "Hey, just praying for you this morning, you and your family," or whatever it is,
Hmm.
that's going to be encouraging and uplifting for your friend, and so that's a good way
Hmm.
to show up. And but again, don't go inviting the lightning. Don't say it if you don't pray it. So
Inviting the lightning.
inviting the lightning, yeah. So that's a thing. Um, Another one is holidays, of course. I mean, Thanksgiving. I've I've gotten in trouble before. Like, M's like, "Go hang out with the family." I'm like, "Hold on, I'm texting people." But hey,
Oh yeah,
happy Thanksgiving.
I'm doing some non asshole elf work right here. Like,
Yeah,
give me.
yeah. And so, I mean, I'll go through and I think last Thanksgiving I was doing it like, the day or two before, but just like, hey, happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for you. I appreciate it. And try to add some sort of personal thing, but text a lot of people that I'm thankful for. And it's true. I'm not making anything up. I'm just being mindful of it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a way to show up in a positive way. Or, of course, so Thanksgiving is an obvious one, Christmas, whatever the holidays are, especially if somebody is served, then you have the military holidays and that sort of stuff that are definitely appropriate time to thank them for their service and that sort of thing. So don't forget about those. Let's see, common interest is a big one too. I mean, I have guys that I text a lot more with, like Barrett Baber, Lance Carpenter, Zane King, and some
Mm-hmm.
people during football season or basketball season, because we're all Arkansans and Razorback fans, and so we just text a lot more around game time, and nothing about music business, nothing about that, but I know that just Barrett Baber, he's busy, and um and we've only written together like twice maybe, but he's much
Mm-hmm.
more aware of me just because
Mm-hmm.
we're Razorback buddies.
Yeah.
Will that turn into anything? Yeah, who knows? Whatever. Either way, do it regardless, just because we're both fans, and
Mm-hmm.
so we connect on a personal level. So maybe that, it may be, so it could be sports, it could be politics. I mean, there was a thing that there was a uh, uh, this funny headline parody article about this Canadian political thing, and I was like, I know who would enjoy that, and I sent to one of my Canadian artist buddies. And sure enough, he laughed at it. It was like, it was funny. Okay. So there's that kind of stuff as well. Just know your audience on anything political, right? And the other thing is
Yeah. Yeah.
religious
Yeah.
stuff.
Make sure it's positive.
Yeah, make sure that it aligns with where they are. So you don't want to be gigging people. That's not helpful. Again, we want to show up in a positive way. But I figured it'd make him laugh, and sure enough, it did. The other stuff is like Bible verses, inspirational quotes, that kind of stuff. I mean, you don't want to be those people that are always sharing, like, the email forward person. You don't want to
Mm-hmm.
be that person. But if there's something that's timely that you like, hey, hope this encourages you today, inspirational quote, a Bible verse, something like that. I think people appreciate that stuff. So that's another way to show up. Another one is, I think, kind of mentioned this before, the kudos, but congrats. Congrats on the number one, congrats on the big show. So there's kind of like two levels of congrats. One is like, hey, on this thing you did that you did. But the other layer is, by the way, heard these people talking about you. You may not be aware of this, but you're awesome
Mm-hmm.
in these
Mm-hmm.
ways. Right. So, yeah. And the big thing for me is like a couple things you want to keep in mind. One, don't wear them out. Like, you don't want even positive vibes turn into stalker vibes if you're showing up every day. Like,
Right.
okay, pump the brakes a little bit. Don't be weird. That's a big thing. Don't be weird. Uh, so that's one thing. Don't wear them out. The other thing is to keep it real or get really good at faking sincerity. But preferably, keep it real. Right?
Get really rid of faking sincerity.
Right. But you want to keep it real. So I'm not going to act like I don't know what, you hate the Bears. I'm not going to act like I'm a Bears fan just because you're a Bears fan. No. Now, if I know you're a major league, okay, we'll say Green Bay for you, Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not a Green Bay fan. I like them fine, but I don't, I'm not a fan. But
Right.
if they go win Super Bowl, I'm blowing you up.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Johnny, and so
Yeah.
I'm gonna be happy.
You're
for
happy
you.
for my win.
I'm happy for your
Even though
win, right?
I had
And
nothing to do.
so if the Bears win the Super Bowl, I'm going to be texting Jeff Pardo because he's a Bears fan. Okay, and that's
He's
just
telling people. That's what's strange about that.
he tells people. I love
Right.
it. So
Sorry, Jeff. Love you, man.
yeah, I'm going to do that because it's going to make him feel good. I mean, really, he's going to be feeling great. But it's like throwing a match on a bonfire. But it's just another way to celebrate people and make them feel good and show up in a positive way. So you want to keep it real. So I'm not saying, yay, go Bears. I'm a big Bears fan. No, but hey, congratulations, man. That's awesome for you. Yeah. So you
Mm-hmm.
keep it real. The other thing is track it. Like for me, I've had to, I make it trackable. If it gets measured, it gets managed. It's easy to forget about this stuff. So I got to put this stuff in front of me every day. So, me and Baxter NIM. So I have the RAP acronym, WRAP, stands for Write, Record, Access, Pitch. Those are the things you got to keep working on as a pro writer or an aspiring pro writer. And so the A is for access, which basically means relationships. You got to have relationships. Otherwise, all these wonderful songs are never going to get into the right hands. So you got to focus on relationships. So I try to check that off every day. And I have it's one of my key performance or key metrics, And so I got to get 10 touches or one deep dive every day for me to check that off. Like, I got my access for the day, and I track this. I have a daily calendar, and I mark it off if I hit it. And I've talked about this before, but say a co-write or a song title challenge episode or a substantive phone call counts as like a deep dive. Like, you've made a deeper impression on somebody for that day. A text counts as a touch, or some sort of maybe social media interaction that's not just a like or something, but it's like, they comment on my thing, I comment, and there's might count, but usually I don't even count those. But what I do is I have a notebook right next to on my desk here, right next to me. And so every time I reach out to somebody, boom, or somebody reaches out to me, I count it. I kind of write down their initials. When I get to 10, I get to mark that off on my calendar. And for one thing, marking that off on my calendar feels good because that's a win in and of itself. But if you measure it, you're going to manage it. And so keeping track of this stuff and getting a little disappointed when I look and see a day that I couldn't mark off my access or whatever is disappointing. But the days I did, I feel good about it. You start building that into a habit, and and good habits lead to good results. And so it changes the way I think and the way I operate, because it is become so ingrained in me. Now I'm looking for opportunities, or maybe before, when I might see some press release about something, go, oh, cool, so-and-so has a new thing out. I'll do this like on release days. I'm trying to be mindful of that, going, oh, so-and-so has a new release out today. Hey, happy release day. I'm not on that song. But it's training me to take that extra step and not just go, oh, good for them, but to actually reach out to them and tell them good for you. And so it changes the way you think, because, that's not naturally my bent, but it's becoming so much more natural for me to look for those opportunities to show up in a positive way, not asking for anything. And I think if you habitualize it, you measure it, you manage it, it becomes habitual. It's going to change the way you think too. And you're going to become, really, honestly, just a more positive person, because you're going to keep showing up in positive ways in people's lives, in their little day-to-days. And the cumulative effect of that is people are happy to see you coming, right? Because you're bringing value every time you show up. It's like positive vibe. And then when you do ask, you've done your jabbing, now you do your right hook or whatever, and you say, hey, I'm coming to town, love to drop by and see you. They're more likely to say yes, because you've invested in that person just by telling them thanks or thinking about you or congratulations in a real sincere way. And you're just staying more top of mind. So maybe when an opportunity comes up, they're going to think of you, because there's some of that reciprocity, or whatever it is, man. That stuff matters. So especially if you're out of town and you're not bumping into people on the regular, you need to stay in touch, but you need to do it in a good, positive way. So anyway, that's what I had for today. A way I want to show up positively for you, climber, is I have a gift for you. It's called 6 Simple Ways to Make Your Songs More Commercial. And you can get it at 6 simpleways.songwritingpro.com. So that's 6 simpleways.songwritingpro.com. It's a PDF download. It's just captures 6 ways that I found that it give your songs more of a competitive edge, help give people what they're asking for. And it's my gift to you. Just put in your email address, tell me where to send it, and we send it right out to you, and it's my gift to you. So that's what I got.
Awesome, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of another Killer Climb episode. I like that one, man. There's a lot of different ways to it's good touch, not bad touch.
Yes.
So, guys, make sure that you join the C.L.I.M.B community. make sure that you follow the podcast or subscribe to it, depending on what platform you're on. Check us out on YouTube now. We got all the episodes there, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget about October 23rd, the first C.L.I.M.B Writers Round takeover at Live Oak. We're very excited about that. 7 to 11, there'll be a live band from 6 to 7. And Brent and I will both be there.
Yep.
And there'll be a lot of climbers there, and there'll be a lot of really great writers there. And this is going to be a really fun night. And we would love to see you. Okay.
And you know what? It's kind of an ask, but we're asking you to help yourself because it's going to be a target-rich environment and a good networking opportunity for you.
Heck yes. It's all about who you know. It's all about relationships. Come make some. Make some. We'll introduce you if you don't know, right? We'll introduce you. All right, guys. That's it. That's all we got to say about that. This podcast exists because we want you to win, so keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.